Andy, what cost you that game in the end, do you feel?
A lack of concentration in the last 94th minute from a set play. We don't get set up right. Our organisation from set plays, our record for set plays is the best in the league. So to concede from that situation in the last minute of the game is obviously very disappointing. Our retention of the ball throughout the whole game was poor. We managed to get ourselves in front just after half time with obviously another goal from Ben. But we struggled first half to try and dominate Ghana off the first contacts, which meant we had to do a lot of defending. We had to defend our box. And you then get yourself in front and it gives you something to look after. So our retention of the ball meant we could never really get up the pitch enough and get our wing backs higher. And then we give a penalty away and we concede from a corner in the 94th minute.
Very different game for both Ben and Jack from Friday, wasn't it? And they went off at half time. Did you feel that this maybe wasn't a game for them in the end?
So with the nature of the game and how the game was going, we obviously had two more experienced players on the pitch, and that those two young lads will have learned so much from the Blackpool game in the first half here against Carlisle, which will stand them in good stead going forward. And I thought it was the right decision to introduce more experience in the second half. So we get ourselves in the front, and when you're not at your best technically, and it's your fourth game in 10 days, and 5 of the players have played in every game. 2 players who got off injured today didn't train yesterday. We've got illness in the camp. We're obviously missing players again, and you end up then finishing how we did.
I'm just going to mention the 2 lads who went off. Obviously Jesse in the first half, then you lost Ben in the second half as well. Have you got any detail on them at all at this early stage?
Yeah, Jesse's been struggling since the Barnsley game with a hip flexor issue. Was fit for the Blackpool game and then didn't train yesterday, but said he was good to go this morning. He's one of the 5 players who's gone under 4 games now, and sometimes that catches up with you. And the same with Ben. Ben obviously had a calf issue last season, and he's been carrying that for the last couple of games. But unfortunately, it eventually caught up with him in the second half as well. So we'll have to assess the long-term damage to both players. We had the players here today who were fit and available. So with 7 players injured, some people ill. That's the group we had.
It must be galling as well, given the fact that on Friday, you'd played really well and you'd more or less done a complete game, and then the concentration issue at the end is what's undone you. That is something that you can't coach. You've just got to try and rely on your players to be leaders out there, I suppose.
We have to get better in every single situation, and in every aspect of the game we have to improve, both individually and collectively. Is there enough on the pitch at the end to see out that situation? I'd like to think so, but we didn't get ourselves set up right, and we lose a first contact right in the middle of our 6-yard box.
Are you nasty enough on maybe situations like that? When you've got people in there who are going to try and win the ball, do you need to be a bit nastier, I suppose?
You just got to be prepared to go and head the ball, and being nasty, whatever it is, getting organisation and communication right, so we're in the right setup to begin with, and we end up being 2v1 with Gavin back post. And Mellish makes his run, and the ball goes into an area where he's attacking, and he gets the first contact. Just
away from it then, obviously the window is open now. We know you've got injuries, like you've just said, you've got some illness. I know work's already been going on, but what will the transfer window hopefully look like for you over the next few weeks?
Well, as I said to the players, we have to get better. We collected 29 points in the first half of the season, and we have to improve that. We're looking to make improvements, and if the level of quality isn't within the group, well, then we have to look at it as people who are outside that, and can we get people in who are going to improve us going forward?
Is that going to be a centre forward maybe? I know lots of people were talking about that prior to the window.
As I've said to you, we're looking at everything, and where do we get better in every single aspect. We did a review of where we're at yesterday as a staff, and there's areas that we have to improve at.
Would you look at maybe some going out as well?
Listen, the transfer window is open, and it's open for both ins and outs, yeah.
And just lastly then, obviously that's a free week now. It's been rare over the last few weeks to have, a free sort of a week, isn't it? The fixture schedule calms down a lot. Will that help in picking up and dealing with some of the niggles and hopefully getting more time on the training pitch too?
Well, hopefully, yeah, it will help people recover. So it's been a hectic schedule over Christmas with the 4 games in 10 days. So you can use it in that aspect for people to recover. But because of the schedule we've had, and we're 36, 37 games already now, obviously going to the new year, it'll be nice to spend some time on the training pitch and try and improve our organisation, but both with and without ball, and make us a better team.
Cheers, Andy. Thank you, Tom.
Can you just set the record straight about Tom Conlon and Lewis Cass? Because obviously they've been in the squad. Are they injured, or is that a selection thing?
No, both players aren't injured. Both players are available. And so the transfer window is opening, and we'll see how things progress.
Dan Jones is the other player really who hasn't been involved. Can you just tell us what the score is about?
Dan Jones had an injection in his ankle Thursday or Friday last week. So that obviously inhibits him, and we'll see how that improves.
Then last one, Alfie Devine, have you heard anything from Tottenham about whether they might recall him or not?
No, nothing at all. His performance, his responsibility on the pitch is growing. I think we've got a really good young player who's learning every single game. But currently, we've had no communication with